Maggots, go live. Yeah. All right. We're here. Right on time. Right on time. It is exactly 10 o'clock. Ooh, made it right on time. Made it right on time. No matter what anybody tells you, we are right on time. Hey, Thursday too. It's Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. It is. So we are right on time. Yeah. Don't let anybody tell you differently. We are right on time. Y'all remember? Yeah, good, good. We are right on time. I am right on time. Okay, that's good. Now, gotta change settings over here. Yes, I am not. I am giving you all time to come in. I am. Bluetooth connected. Oh hell, we're not gonna be connected. We're gonna do this. Gonna do this while the show running. Yeah. Greetings, salutations. Greetings, Nancy. Greetings, Foxtrot Delta Taco. Foxtrot Delta Taco. F, which literally translate into fuck Donald Trump. Foxtrot Delta Taco translates into fuck Donald Trump. And then the taco has special meaning because it's Trump always caves. Yes. Greetings. Yep. Yep. How y'all doing today? How's everybody? Y'all come on in. What's up? What's up? What's up everywhere? I just have to say everywhere because TikTok gives me violations if I say anything else. So I don't like to get violated unless I'm cussing. I like to know what my violations are about. Y'all come on in. Greetings, salutations. Y'all know what time it is. It is 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Time. You can set your clock by that. Regardless of what your clock now says, set it now. As a matter of fact, it's 1 minute after. Whatever your clock say, it is exactly 1 minute after. Lauren Hill and I are here on time. Oh my goodness. Lauren Hill and I are here on time. And don't let anybody else tell you that. Did you fight Ice Knight? Yes. I was watching the video. We would listen. No ICE agents were hurt in the making of the video, though. That was my only down point. Yes, I saw them. I saw them. And listen, at a cannabis farm, at a cannabis farm. Yeah, Olivia, you're on time tonight with me. We are both on time. It just it was just the idea that this was taking place at a cannabis farm that was just yeah, it was out there. It was out there. So we're going to talk tonight. We're going to talk about birthright citizenship. Judge, the judge has said basically, yeah, y'all said fuck me. I'm saying fuck you all. I love judges that really are sticking it to Donald Trump in spite of what this pocketed Supreme Court is doing. Greetings, Rain. Greetings. So we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about this article. Kerr County. Sorry, Kerr, Kerr County in Texas, and we're gonna talk about some things in this article from the Leicester County where the most flooding deaths have taken place and where Mr. Camp Mystic was. We're gonna talk about their politics, and why we're gonna talk about their politics because their politics is one of the reasons they haven't got the alarm system that they needed. And we're going to talk about the mistakes that were made and how they're trying to blame everybody else. But in the essence, we're going to talk about the American Rescue Plan too. For those of y'all who know what that is, you understand lots of counties and lots of states got lots of money from the federal government during the Biden administration to do it as they're pleased, what they needed to do for their counties, right? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about what Kerr County said and what they did with their money and what they didn't want to do with their money. And we're going to talk about my video on the Essence Festival. It's 10 minutes long, but you all are going to get to take it in because TikTok isn't going to push it, but you all are going to get to see it. And I'm going to give you all some information on the Essence Fest and also on Liberia. Yes, I try to make sure I cover a lot of ground in my videos. But right now, we're going to just say hello to everybody. We got to talk about the imaginary bus too, because I'm not letting it go. We're going to talk about the imaginary bus also. And yeah, Reese isn't feeling well. I don't know if she's gonna make it tonight, but we're gonna send some positive universal energy to Reese. Um, so Olivia, that leaves you in charge of pinning. Thank you, Foxtrot. And Olivia, you can pin the poll with the Cash App in it up there. So you're in charge of that tonight. Reese usually does the poll, but I don't know if she's gonna make it. I told her to get some rest, but that means she's probably lurking because she doesn't. Her and Scrooge, they listen to me only when I'm actually able to enforce it physically. Other than that, yeah, it's take what you can get. So how are you all doing tonight? GCPR land, how are you all doing? I'm hanging on the bus like Trump does. We're not letting the bus go. The No, we're not letting the bus go. We're not had. I had a great night tonight with the kid with the tutoring. Um, we're still raising. We're still those people who've donated. Grandmother, thank you. Grandmother's always going to come in. Grandmother is always going to come in and for the kids, and I appreciate that. Rain, appreciate you. I appreciate y'all who have, and those who haven't. You're gonna get hit up. I'm bringing Reverend Ike. I got Reverend Ike on ice. We're gonna get him out here. No, Olivia, take that down. That is not the right one, Olivia. It's right here, Olivia, in your face, and you can't see it. Take that down, Olivia. At work, I know I'm late. Yeah, Jay is late. Yeah, Olivia. I don't know. That's probably why we can't get any bus money. Olivia got people sending people money to somebody else's account. Yeah, that's why we can't get any bus fare. Yeah, I'm spoiling for a fight with foundational black people. So I hope my video on Essence Fest pisses them off to the point of them mentioning my name in the video and tagging me in it um so I can really fight. Is it just me, or does anybody think that some people, black people, talking about black American culture outside of black culture as a whole, sound like white people when they talk about their history? It's like no, they remember Donald Trump. Nobody has ever done anything like this before, and we are the first ones. Excuse me, excuse me. Black people have been fighting for civil rights and liberation ever since the colonizer first pulled up on the African coast. Ever since 1526. I know everybody. We only start our history at 1619 because that's when Yeah, leave that alone, TNathan. We're gonna get into that more. Olivia, delete. Olivia, Olivia, come on now. One time is a you know that's no, Olivia. No, one time is a mistake. Come on, get it right now. Get it right. Take that down. Excuse me, y'all. Take that down. Why is that still pinned there? That is not. Just forget it. Just forget it. This is the Cash App right here. This is the Cash App. It's LOKIUS 2473. We're raising funds for students and for those who have the homeless. If you would like to help, please hit that up. Hit that up. All right. Don't pay attention to don't pay attention to what was just put up. That is not the right Cash App. All right. What's up? What's up? What is up? What's up, Goddess? How you doing? Craig Long, I saw you sneak in. Have you regret your vote yet? Revert. Saw Craig Long just sneak in. Yeah, we're raising money for those who have to be homeless and for students um, that are unable to go to school because their parents might get deported. So that's what we're doing. Just a girl. Greetings, salutations. And Craig Long said he regrets his vote. I don't care. Craig Long regrets his vote, y'all. Y'all. Yeah, I heard him. Everybody else heard him say it. Yeah, pretend like you did too. He said it. He said it. And remember, you can use that. He came into my live and said he regretted voting for Donald Trump, and we can quote him on that. Yep. Anything to the contrary, yeah, you can't take it back now. Yeah, we got it. We got it. All right. All right. So that's what we're gonna talk about. Finally typed it right. Yeah, you can't multitask and put up incorrect information. That's probably where our $300,000 went. Olivia. It's because of you. We probably would have $396,000 for. I'm thinking it's your fault. I'm gonna have to track down that person and see what they doing with that $300,000 that we didn't get. Greetings, Raven. Greetings. How are you doing? Y'all say hello to Raven. Yeah, yeah. All right, listen up. So let's start off with what do y'all want to start off? You want me to start off with my video talking about the history of the Essence Festival, unlike people who don't go listen, or do you want me to start off talking about Kerr County, or do you want me to start off talking about birthright citizenship and what the judge did today? Yeah, a co-worker went. So I guess that's the first comment. I guess you all want my Essence Festival video, don't you? All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. You know, I'm all about giving you all videos from me. I am good with that. All right. Now, all right, Reese. Good. Reese, good you're here. Yeah, the poll is yours. Make sure the information is right. Yeah, we were just sending you positive universal energy. I didn't think you were going to make it. But let's talk about TNathan and his battle with people over the Essence Festival. Because let me let me get my video. Let me get my video. And remember, if you all are going to take on the king, you must make sure you bring better receipts and personal experiences than somebody talking about they never been to the New Orleans or the Essence Festival. Let's get it. Now, you all knew I was coming, right? Yes, I'm going to talk about Essence Festival 2025, the ownership of Essence, and I'm going to bring you a perspective on it that involves research over me search, and also the perspective of somebody who has attended Essence Festival multiple times over the last 30 years since it was founded in 1995. Let's get it. Two of the biggest events in 1995 for the black community was the first Essence Festival in New Orleans. I was there. And the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. on October 16th, 1995. 28-year-old TNathan attended. I was there. I also attended the Essence Festival multiple times between 2005 and 2018. There's a reason I mentioned those specific years in just a moment, especially the one in 2014, where 500,000 plus people descended on New Orleans specifically to attend the Essence Festival. Now, I'm also going to address the issue that people seem to have with a black man owning Essence again, a black immigrant man who has been in this country since 1987, longer than some of them have been alive. But I digress, because there's a method to my madness. Now, I specifically mentioned the years between 2005 and 2018 about still attending the Essence Festival for a reason. Now, let's get into it. Now, I could back this discussion up to 2020 when Time Warner, this company right here, actually purchased a 49% stake in Essence. But let's go with 2005 because 49% is not the majority share owner at the time. So in 2005, Time Warner purchased the other 51% of Essence magazine and therefore becoming sole owner of the magazine. Now, when the board of directors decided to purchase all of Essence in 2005, Time Warner's CEO was Charles Parson, and he stepped down in 2007, and the board of directors replaced him with Jeff Bucas, who oversaw Time Warner from 2008 to 2018. One of the things that Charles Parson complained about why he was CEO for the limited time he was at Time Warner was the lack of diversity on its board of directors, because they were all white. But moving right along. So, after being in the hands of Warner Brothers for 13 years, which I can make an argument for 18 years, but 13 years of majority ownership by Time Warner, Essence was purchased in 2018, Richelieu Dennis, who, along with his mother, Mary Dennis, founded the Shea Moisturizer skincare line.
Y'all know Shea
And as I said,
Moisturizer is.
Richelieu Dennis here, along with his family, immigrated to this country in 1987 because there was a civil war going on in the country of his birth, Liberia. Now, excuse me if I find it ridiculously funny that people are complaining about a
Listen to
black
this.
man from Liberia owning Essence magazine and complaining that it has no African American roots in it.
If you know,
Even
you
though
know.
that's crazy in the first place, but that also shows me what they know about history. See, Liberia was founded in 1822 by formerly enslaved people from America. Yeah, you can't make this up. Formerly enslaved people were sent back to Africa by the American Colonization Society with funding from the United States government to form a colony in Africa. And
In
that
Africa,
colony was Liberia.
Liberia.
Liberia. So, in a roundabout sort of way, these people don't know what they're talking about. But it's just funny to me that the immigrant from Liberia that bought Essence magazine is who you all have a problem with now.
Just want to point this out because I want you to also to laugh because foundationally black people are always talking about they're the descendants of slaves. So I don't understand why at Richelieu Dennis I don't, because he is the descendants of American slaves also. But I digress. Moving right along because ignorance knows no bounds.
Considering that he actually purchased the magazine and therefore the Essence Festival in 2018. Now, let's break down some of this disingenuous BS argument people are making because facts are their enemies.
Facts of the enemy.
Richelieu Dennis has owned the Essence Festival since 2018. And
Understand, I have to reiterate something. Richelieu Dennis, the immigrant from Liberia, that, like I say, when you don't know your history, you don't know. When Richelieu Dennis has owned Essence since 2018. From 2000, I can make an argument since 2000, but from 2005, when Warner Brothers bought the other 51% of of Essence that they hadn't purchased in 2000, because they bought 49% of it in 2000. They bought the other 51% in 2005. So from 2005 to 2018, Essence was owned by Warner Brothers, Time Warner. Time Warner. And guess how many black people were on his board of directors? Guess how white one Time Warner was? This is what kills me. So when people talk about black people from Africa taking money from Africa, from the black community and sending it back to Africa, I'd be like, for 13 years, the profit from Essence was going into the pockets of white people from Time Warner. Can you make it make sense? I'm not finished by a long way. But when I be listening to these people, I was like, you and listen, Essence Festival has been going on since 1995. So for 13 years, Essence Festival was under the auspice of a company that owned Essence that didn't have one black person on its board of directors. They had a black CEO, Charles Parson. They had a black CEO for like from 2005 to 2007. They got rid of him, and this one they got Charles Beckett, Bucus, and they got him, and he was CEO from 2007 until 2018. So make an argument that for 13 years Time Warner owned 100% of Essence magazine, and for 18 years, Time Warner owned at least
49% of Essence magazine. But where were these people in their outrage then? And I'm gonna get into them more because I'm gonna also systematically disabuse you all of the knowledge that the Essence Festival is what they're saying it is, and and I'm gonna disabuse you all of the knowledge that somehow our culture is divorced of black culture around the world. And last night, I think I taught you all the difference between the diaspora and African and continent and the difference. So when people use diaspora to refer to Africa, you can laugh now. And make sure you tell them TNathan sent you to laugh. But let's.
And none of these complaints about it being too African were made last year when it broke records and provided over $360 million in excess windfall for the city of New Orleans. And did this
Yeah, I got to narrate because, I got to be me. So when people talk about Africans are taking money from the black community, I don't know, those refurbishing their countries in Africa. Like, I don't even understand what's the problem, but I digress. And we're gonna talk about that 1.4, 1.6 trillion dollars in spending power the black communities have. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute because yeah, that's a joke. So, but we're not going to speed past the fact that it's interesting that the Essence Festival brings over $350 million of spending to the city, not the Essence Festival, which has been, but to the city in New Orleans on a regular basis. That means hotel rooms, visiting black businesses in the area. They bring over 300. There are people that make half of their yearly income off the Essence Festival because that's how many tourists and visitors they get to their businesses during that time. And unlike the Super Bowl, which may come to New Orleans every 5 years or so, the Essence Festival comes every year. I think the only time Essence Festival didn't come was the year Katrina, 2006. And I know one of the years, I think 2020, the pandemic, it was shut down. So out of from 1995 to 2025, Essence Festival has been at the Superdome all but two of those years. And we're going to talk about the Superdome in this video also. They weren't invited to participate in Essence Fest. Who wasn't? Who wasn't invited? Let's hold that question, Mike. I'm going to answer all questions on Essence. You're talking about someone who grew up for 45 minutes from New Orleans, and I know you're paying attention to the video, so I don't need to break it down how many times I've been to Essence Festival. But yeah, because we're going to talk about all that, all the misinformation.
year's Essence
Getting.
Festival report a drop in ticket sales? Yes, it did. So did Jazz Festival in New Orleans by at least 40,000, and most festivals held across this country reported a drop in ticket sales. And to be fair, there are several reasons for this. One, you're comparing the ticket sales to the record year of 2024. And hotel occupancy in New Orleans was at 80% capacity in spite of this. And we're just going to speed past the fact.
How many people have ever worked in the hotel industry or do no business and understand that for an event over a 3 day period and you have a occupancy rate of 80%, what that means or how good that is? 80%. They say ticket sales were down, attendance was down, but yet and still, the Essence Festival managed to get an 80% occupancy rate in New Orleans hotels. Think about that. And people are like, well, why was attendance down? Let's see. What was the difference between this year Essence Festival and last year?
That attendance is down at festivals like this across the country for a very significant reason: economic uncertainty. Yeah, the economic uncertainty that we find ourselves in because of this present administration also is contributing to how people spend money. Now, those of you all talking about the Super Lounge experience, I can tell you haven't been to the Essence Festival in a while. The Super Not only can I tell you haven't been to the Essence Festival in a while if you don't understand the transition of the super lounges, but I also know you didn't watch the super, and I also know you really don't know anything about New Orleans because Superdome has been undergoing renovations since 2020. And a lot of those experiences have had to adjust because of those renovations that the state is making to the Caesars Superdome. So this people don't even know it's no longer the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It is the Caesars Superdome. That's why I be like listening to people and talking. I'll be like, tell me you never Orleans without telling me you've never been to New Orleans because you don't even know the name of the Superdome anymore. And that's just that. When I hear people talking and they was like, "Oh, we're in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome," I say, "You're not." There are just little things that let you know people are lying or don't know what the meaning of research means, right? When they call it, it's the Caesar Superdome, not the Mercedes. The Mercedes emblem has been gone from the Superdome, so that lets you know that renovations have been going on at the Superdome starting in 2020. So it does. It's different. It's not the same experience as far as they've widened spaces. It's larger capacity. All of that has taken place. They did finish up in time for the Super Bowl this year in February. Remember that? But you also have to understand there are a lot of little projects going on, and they had sound system problems at the Superdome at the Super Bowl. We're going to get into that in a narration in just a moment. Continue, T. Nathan. Continue, T. This year was the first year since the completion of those renovations that started in 2020 that organizers have had to get in there and decide what this experience was going to look like. Did they drop the ball? Yes, no doubt about that. They did have lots of technical issues that resulted in the great Lauren Hill going on 2 hours late. And she addresses that. If you will go to her page here and look at what she wrote about it. And in this post, Lauren Hill thanks the Essence Festival for acknowledging that the fault was theirs and not hers. But yeah, I digress. You understand, right? At listen, Lauren Hill posted about going on at 2:30 in the morning. Everything was pushed back 2 hours because of technical difficulties. Did the Essence Festival have technical difficulties? Yes, they sure did. They uh, I know they had them on the last night too. They had technical difficulties. Yeah, it's easy to sit around and dissect it after the fact. They had technical difficulties. The show must go on. I'm not saying that those technical difficulties were excusable, but they have nothing to do with the fact that a man from Liberia is the owner of the Essence Festival now. Well, his company is the owner of the Essence company. Yeah, nothing technical. And Lauren Hill, that's what I say. Lauren Hill, and she told me, and when I read this, I learned something I didn't know. You know, I say I go to Lauren Hill concerts. I've gone to three of them. I've never been on time because I knew Lauren wasn't gonna be on time. But she also talks about that in here. She says this was the first promoter that she's been a part of a concert that started late, that took responsibility for starting late. And they said this was not Lauren Hill's fault. This was a failure on our part. Essence made a statement saying that. More responsibility than we get out of the White House. But they said it. And she said a lot of other promoters will have never done that for her. She said, Stephanie Mills, y'all know I love Stephanie. We're friends. I got Stephanie's number. And she says, yes, they had technical difficulties, but Patti LaBelle's whole mic shut down at the Lakefront Arena one year. They had technical. They didn't bring her mic back up for 20 minutes. You could still hear Patty at the back because Patty sung without the mic. And I know everybody not capable of doing that, but technical difficulties do happen. Let's continue. I digress. Some of you all, I digress. I'm convinced, cannot read. And you can actually go and read this article right here. Listen, you know what to do with your fingers. In which Richelieu sits down with a New Orleans interviewer and talks about the things that went wrong with the Essence Festival and takes full responsibility and accountability for those things and talks about how they're going to fix them for next year's festival. He talks about the fact that certain corporations withdrew their sponsorship because of DEI policies. He
Y'all don't want to
addresses the
talk about that, huh?
sponsorship of Target, which has been a sponsor of the Essence Festival ever since I can remember, while some of you all are acting new. He talked about the decrease in funding from the state that usually accompanies such festivals like this, and even ventures into say why he believes there was a cut in funding, which I'm sure we all can guess why. Yeah, you can go read this article for yourself because I want to address next this so called cultural shift that you all who don't even know what the African diaspora is
Let's
are
talk about
talking
it.
about.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about it.
where did this take place at?
Where did this
Because
take
the
place at?
lineup I saw is similar to every Essence Festival I
What's up,
have
Juicy?
attended. On Friday, you had Maxwell, Gorilla, Babyface, the Isley Brothers, Lauryn Hill, Siren, and Lucky Day. On Saturday, you had Jill Scott, Jasmine Sullivan, Patti LaBelle, Davo, Erica Badu, Buju Bannon, Summer Walker, and Molly, along with Donnell Jones on the super stage. And closing out on Sunday, you had Boys to Men, Nas, Dougie Fresh, Master P, along with the No Limit Soldiers, except Mia X, because she said that Master P disrespected her, so she didn't perform. Drew Hill, Carrie Hilson, Silk the Shaka, and Money Long was on the super stage.
So who?
And I
What?
didn't even get to mention the tribute to Quincy Jones and the Waiting to Exhale evening artist set. So, what are y'all talking about?
Somebody help!
I need you all to help me think.
Somebody help! Somebody help me! All these videos going around talking about that the Essence Festival didn't feel the same. I don't know how many festivals they've been to, but the everybody on the playlist at the Essence Festival, with the exception of Glorilla, who I never would want to see and not take it. Y'all can watch Glorilla if you want to. That's y'all thing. Everybody on the playlist of that for these nights I have seen at the Essence Festival. I've seen Prince at the Essence Festival. I've seen Beyonce at the Essence Festival. I've seen Janet at the Essence Festival before her and I fell out. Yeah, I have seen. So the most significant thing missing from this year's Essence Festival was Frankie Beverly and Maze because Frankie Beverly passed. But what to yeah, we need seven we need I need $5 from everybody at least. Yeah, that would be a great if you can give more, give more. We're raising money for those who are happily homeless and for students of school supplies. But and this you get this for free. So regardless if you can afford it or not, you get these lessons. So I was wondering what people were talking about. It didn't feel the same. I felt like it was overshadowed by African history and the African experience. What? I have a whole video that if my brother don't do, I'ma do talking about the fact that a lot of these people don't even understand. Some of these people they go around reveling, talking about African American history, were born in another country, or born to immigrant parents, Shirley Chisholm. Y'all got to give Shirley Chisholm back. Y'all don't like anybody that's not black from America, right? So her parents were from Barbados. She was an immigrant child. Or Stokely Carmichael. Y'all gonna give and of course you have to give back Marcus Garvey. I know none of y'all going around here quoting Marcus Garvey. Yeah, yeah. Uh, Dr. King went to Ghana to help them when they celebrated their independence. Yeah, and Malcolm was a world traveler for anywhere there was a black there was black strife going on. He was there. So yeah, y'all you're stupid and your mom just as funny. Why do they assume why do they assume Liberia don't speak English? Donald Trump assumes it because he doesn't care. It was a microaggression. It was intentional. I had somebody come my comment saying that I don't know if he meant it to be my yes he was condescending and microaggressive. You can tell in his demeanor.
it's just interesting that these two videos follow each other on Liberia. Liberia is getting some play right now for me because I didn't realize how many people did not know that Liberia was founded by former American slaves that were that were fleeing, and they like listen to me and understand. This was not done with the intent of goodness. This was done by the American Colonization Society because they wanted to colonize Africa, and they would. What better way to start colonizing Africa is by sending slaves that have been instituted into American society that spoke English to go. That's why and as I told somebody, that's why the official language of Liberia is English, because the former slaves that we got there in 1820 were the descendant of American slaves, and they didn't even have a language except English. But I digress. Um, Hit up the Cash App to help tutor students and feed the home. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Please consider it. You all, like say, a black person who speaks white enough for me to understand how very valuable black man from Liberia. Right. So, so you get to the point, like, back to the Essence Festival right quick. So you get to the point that these people are running around making these videos talking about the attendance, talking about it's an African vibe, and they're trying to erase African American history. And I'm like, where? Where did that happen at? See, and you all don't even want me to get started talking about Target, because that's when y'all remember when I was talking about people were boycotting Target, and I asked, "Are you all going to boycott Target everywhere?" And I didn't think people understood how integral Target has made themselves in the black community by pumping dollars. One thing I can't argue about: Target pumps dollars into the black community, and I'm not saying how I feel about it because that's a whole nother story. But I realized that some people didn't know it. I'm gonna say this, and I have to be honest. Almost every event I have planned in the community prior to 2018, no, into 2000, what was until I went to prison for those couple of months. But every event I planned in the community, guess who sought me out when they heard the event was going on? Guess who sought me out? When you go back to my history and you look at when we had actually had a medical RV bus, quote unquote, that came to the community because I sat on the board of Gulf Coast Family Healthcare, and I made sure that they bought their bus to our communities to give free diagnostics, health updates, and tests. Yeah, guess who helped pay for some of this? Yeah, black businesses and Target. Target was there. I'm not saying anything about the president and the executive branch, executive decision to end their DEI program. Y'all don't want to know what I think. Y'all do know. If you follow me, you know what I think about that. I have called them out on it, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and pretend like I didn't know Target was a part of the Essence Festival, and because they also have the biggest. The Target is one of the largest supporters of the Essence Festival outside of the state of Louisiana, and they also have the biggest display at the vendors camp. You better donate or I'll send y'all educational purposes. Yeah. Let me see if anybody's donated yet. Nobody's donated yet. Nobody's donated yet. Um, so that is the reality of the situation. I know. Maybe do I need to lie and gaslight you all, and you all are consider donating? Because I just be trying to figure out what's the difference in me and the people that gaslight you all, but you all donate to their made up causes all the time, and you get to see me and my causes, our causes. It's not even my causes, our causes. But I digress. All right. How do I donate? Cash App. Put the send juice to Cash App somebody. It's right here, juice. It's LOKIUS 2473. If you don't have Cash App, you can go to my buy beacon link, and there are other every way you can. Yeah, it is there. All right. I don't know your place, bro. Huh? You don't know my place? What do you mean? Yes, Charles Taylor. That's a whole nother thing. We can talk about that. But this is the thing. So I hear these people talking, and every time I ask them what exactly they're talking about, I get blocked. I get blocked. I see people making these videos and they're talking about the erasure of black history, but they're not. These are the same people that say they're part of the 92% and they're not doing anything, as this administration literally enacts policies to erase black history that literally is wiping out Black History names from websites that are literally removing the sacrifices and the history of the Tuskegee Airmen in videos and talking about these things that are literally doing this. And those people are not joining me on the protest line because they're resting, but they're somehow saying that this, the Essence Festival, somehow with its lineup of of 98% black artists from America, born and raised, and a staff of 98% black people that administer the administration. And then the people like, and then it's like, and I don't know, maybe because I don't accept invitations to a lot of things, I could pull up the email. I have gotten emails to attend events, but you all know me. And the Essence event, right? The reason I didn't go to accept the Essence invitation is because I was busy. I had the meal for those who happen to be homeless. And so I wasn't going to put that off to go to the Essence Festival because I had told people that this is what we were going to do. I know the Essence Festival is that time of year, but I also had already committed to something else. And I can go to the Essence Festival anytime. If I make a commitment to those who happen to be homeless, they have been failed too much by people for me to just say, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it. I got an invite to the Essence Festival." So I don't know. Um, I don't know. I get lots of invites. Those same invites that you all be seeing people at, that I don't know because I want to fight. Y'all know me. I'll be there. Now, there's some I probably should accept or I should go to, like the one in Washington D.C. when Cory Booker was there. I should have went. I should have went because I had some cussing to do. But I probably be on a watch list much less. Yeah, we probably have been on the watch list. But anyway, moving right along. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So that's my rant on the Essence Festival. Anybody who wants to know, y'all refer them to this video, and if they mention me by name, just let me know, and I'll address that because I bring receipts and experience. Not just one Essence Festival, not just two Essence Festivals, but at least 10 or 11 in my lifetime. Out of the 30 that have happened, I know, barring if I'm in the area, I'm at an Essence Festival. Yeah, barring something like that, and barring my stretching, my vacation. Can you believe it's been 3 years? It's been 3 years. Yeah, I, yeah. I'm dying to die. But anyway, haven't punched anybody in the mouth in 3 years. I feel like um, I feel like I'm missing something. I haven't punched anybody in the mouth in 3 years. So there's that. There's that. Can we hold on? All right. All right, Reese, go get some rest. Go. We got it. We got it. You go get some rest, Reese. Don't worry about here. All right. So that's it on Essence Festival. Let's move on to the other topic I wanted to talk about tonight. Dun, dun, dun. I really want to talk about two topics. So should I it's 10:50. Ah, should I do the tour? Ah, let's do this one. Let's do this one. And we're gonna do both of them. So y'all can buckle in. We're gonna do both of them. So let me pull this up so I can read it from here, and you all can see it on the screen. Now, Kerr County. Kerr County is take these off. Y'all can hear me well, right? I don't need these. Kerr County, Texas. This is the county where a lot of the destruction from the flooding, a lot of the death toll is the highest in. All right. Now, you all, if you don't get that food, hurry up and get that food. Petro sent me this today, and I was like, Petro sent me a article, but it wasn't reparable. So we had to look for. I had to get reparable because I like to make sure the facts I give are solidified, right? And AI doesn't count for me. AI doesn't count, but Petra research is great, and she got this to me, so I read it, and then I did a little more research, and yes, so this is valid. So this article right here, if you all want to even read anything I'm about to talk about, Mexico sent up help and aid also, right? And I thought that was so interesting. Interesting. Leave it at that, right? We're gonna come back to that, and kudos to Mexico for sending up aid to help children that are find children that are missing. Because no matter, I might beat your bad children up, but I won't kill them. But and I will also work to now your children come out with something racist, they might get backhanded in the next week. Just gonna say that. Bella had to wake up on that one. She's like, yeah, he not lying. He will backhand one of your badass children into next week. But a natural disaster, flood, no, I'm not hitting celebrate. I'm not celebrating the death of your child at a natural disaster or flood. All right. So you all remember how we're getting the conversation about how this area had the opportunity. They submitted a FEMA request to have the siren system installed so they could have it, and FEMA rejected them. Let's go into the facts. Look, I scroll. So basically, this article is about Kirk County um, and they say did physical conservatism block plans for a new flood warning system in Kirk County. All right, y'all been hearing about they applied to FEMA. And they didn't get any funding. Let's go down to it. So I'm gonna skip a lot of this because it's all right. Let's go to let's talk about that. Okay, this mentions the flood that took place in 1987. That's where it started. We get the flood that took place in 1987. It says by the time the 1987 flood, the county had grown to about 35,000 people. Today, there are about 53,000 people in Kerr County. In 2016, all right, in 2016, Kerr County commissioners already knew they were getting outpaced by neighboring rapid growing counties on installing better flood warning systems and were looking for ways to pull ahead. All right, go from there. Keep going. All right. During a March 28th meeting that year, 2016, they said as much. Even though this is probably one of the highest flood prone regions in the entire state where a lot of people are involved, their systems are state of the art, except ours. All right. And then you scroll on. And the current one that we have, it will give all it does in flashing lights. I mean, all. That's all you get at river crossings or wherever they're located. Everybody else had sirens and were advancing. In 2016, the county commissioner said, all we got is flashing lights. All right? Kirk County, listen to this. Kirk County had already signed on with a company that allowed its residents to opt in and get a code red alert about dangerous weather conditions. But Thomas urged the commission to strive for something more cell service along the headwaters of the Gloop. My Spanish is not that bad. Gloop River near Hunt was pretty spotty in the western half of Kerr County, making a redundant system of alerts even more necessary. Okay, during the Galapi, I don't know what's wrong with my tongue right now, but during that, yeah, thank you. During that, they was talking about how they needed more. They needed a system of redundancy. All right, all right. Now, got Guadalupe. Oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I don't know why. Probably because I didn't hear Spanish today. I was doing everything but Spanish today. All right. By the next year, officials had sent off an application for a $731,000 grant. This is in 2017, the year after the 2016 meeting they just had. They sent off a $731,000 grant to FEMA to help bring $976,000 worth of flood warning upgrades, including 10 high water detection systems without flashers, 20 gauge possible outdoor sirens. Now, I don't know if you've heard of 20 gauge outdoor siren, right? But yeah, you can't just sleep through it unless your body is passed out because you're an insomniac, and it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to wake up unless somebody touches you. But normal people, 20 gauges is going to wake you up. And then they were going to get 20 of those to station along the river. All right? Guadalupe. Guadalupe. Had to get my Spanish together. All right. The purpose, oh, hold on. We're scrolling down so y'all can follow me. The purpose of this project is to provide Kerr County with a flood warning system, right? The system will be utilized for mass notification to citizens about high water levels and flood conditions throughout Kerr County. Y'all got it? Or y'all follow me? Y'all got it. So they put in the FEMA request and they were going to buy this equipment with it, that with the request from FEMA, right? Federal funding. Stay with me here because the irony of what's to come is staggering. This is federal funded money coming from FEMA that they put in for this grant for. But listen, everyone's trying to blame this on FEMA. But the Texas Division of Emergency Management, which oversees billions of FEMA dollars designed to prevent disasters, denied the application. The Texas Division of the Emergency Management System denied the application because they didn't have a current hazardous plan that they didn't have a hazardous plan in place. They resubmitted it. News outlets reported, but by then, priority had been given to other counties that had suffered damage from Hurricane Harvey. So they submitted the plan. The plan did not have a hazardous plan in it. So Texas Department Division of Emergency Management refused it. By the time they resubmitted it, Hurricane Harvey had happened and they moved on with the funds to other areas, right? You got it? You got it? We're not there yet, Amy. Stop getting ahead of the story. Stop getting ahead of the story, Amy. All right. Now let's scroll down. Ah, let's go to 2021. In 2021, Kerr County was awarded $10.2 million windfall from the American Rescue Plan Act. Who was president? Who was president that got the American Rescue Plan Act passed and enacted? Anybody? I know, y'all. Who was president in 2021? Yeah, I know y'all know. I'm not moving on to somebody mentioning the name. Thank you, Petra. So in 2021, Kerr County received $10.2 million due to the American Rescue Plan Act, which Congress passed the same year to support. Why did they do it? They passed it the same year to support local governments impacted by the pandemic, right? Cities and counties was given the flexibility to use the money on a variety of expenses, including those related to storm-related infrastructure. Did you hear? Did you get it? Yeah, yeah, you can get it. Yeah, we there now, Amy. You can go ahead. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and spoil the ending of it. But I'm gonna still read it and talk about it. 2021, Kerr County, the county that was complaining in 2016 that it didn't have the money to build this early warning system that only cost $1 million at most. And even if we make the adjustment by this standing and say a million, $1.2 million at this time in 2021, even if we say we're gonna say it costs 2,000, we're gonna say it costs 1.2 million. still would have had $9 million left over to do whatever else you wanted, steal and whatever. You could have at least put the plan in place, right? All right. In Corpus Christi, for example, they allotted $15 million of the ARP funding to rehabilitate and or replace aging stormwater infrastructure. So in Corpus Christi, they used $15 million to upgrade their weather warning system and their infrastructure. Um, Another county along them spent $868,000 on low water crossings. Right? Listen to this. Kerr County did not opt for for the American Rescue Plan Act to fund flooding. They did not opt. Let me tell you, not only did they not opt to it, it gets even worse, right? They didn't use the money for flooding. And here it is. In fact, a survey sent to residents about the American Rescue Plan showing that 42% of the 180 respondents wanted to reject the $10 million budget bonus altogether, largely on political grounds. Oh, scroll up. My bad. Scrolling up. Well, scrolling down. There you go. Right, there's the part. There we go. Scroll up the screen, scroll down the screen. Right, that's where we are. So they wanted to reject the majority. Not that was just 100 of the 80 respondents, but they wound up having a city council meeting, a county supervisors meeting, right? And people showed up to say stuff like, I'm here to ask this county today to send this money back to the Biden administration, which I consider to be the most criminally treason communist government ever to hold the White House. Another one said, we don't want to be bought by the federal government. Thank you very much. We like the federal government to stay out of Kerr County and their money. Did you get that? Tomato, tomato. Yeah. Did you get that? Did you get it? Good night, GCPR. They got to hear the rest of this. We're gonna do the rest of this one, and then we're gonna talk about birthright citizenship. Yeah, I text DJ, I text him and told him I was gonna finish talking about Kirk County, or at least a little more, because I love it um when our listeners outside of the country get stuff like this, and they be like, because a lot of people, yes, yeah, I got that the other day when I read the article, and my chin was on the floor. Right. So they did not. They were talking about sending the money back. Well, when it was all said and done, the county approved 7 million in AP dollars on public safety radio communications for the sheriff's department and county fire services to meet the community needs for the next 10 years. Let me say something about this, because this when I read that, Amy, my chin hit the floor. Also, I got puzzles to do. There we go. When I read that, my chin hit the floor because I said, you all spent $7 million on communications for your sheriff's department and the fire department. And you all's communication was so bad during this storm that you had to link up with the Starlink satellite that Elon Musk had tasked over the area and I was like, really? I found that interesting. You spent 7 million of your $10.2 million that you wanted to return on communications equipment. Communications equipment that 4 years later failed you. And you got Elon Musk sitting like Thanos saying, yeah, I know after all your failures, what do you return? Back to me. Yeah, I just had to get that in. I never thought I'd get to use that on somebody, but that's basically what Elon could do. Elon could be there purple, rubbing his hands, be like, huh, y'all are here, huh? Well, I got you. We have a planet full of nuts. So
That's it. So they got $3.2 million, right? They could still get the equipment they needed, right? The equipment that they complaining now that FEMA failed them for when it turns out to be the the Division of the Emergency Management. But they said FEMA failed them in 2016. So now you got this money, you can get the equipment you need, right? Right? Hmm. All right. For next year. Although early estimates put the contract at 5 million. Another 1 million went to the sheriff's employees in the forms of stipends and raises, and just over 600,000 went towards additional county positions. A new walking pass was also created with the money. While much has been made about the spending, it is not clear if residents or commissioners understood at the time they could have applied the funds to a warning system. Right? listen, listen. I don't know because this county got some of the money, and that's how they fund some of the programs they do that they're not going to fund any that the we're going to wind up watching get cut. But the American Rescue Plan literally, and I know you didn't even have to read it all like I did. You didn't even have to read all of the American Rescue Plan. The American Rescue Plan, one of the things Republicans were up in arms about was it just allowed the places that got the money to do with it as they pleased in a structured environment. And all they had to say was these institutions were hampered because of the pandemic. They gave $1 million to the sheriff's department employees, not new cars, not new equipment, because they spent $7 million on equipment that showed that they was not reading good. They spent $1 million on their sheriff's department, giving them stipends and raises, and said we didn't know we could spend the money to get the system that we've been saying we needed since 1987. Anybody gonna let that? Y'all gonna let that sink in? Y'all want me to give you a minute? Just let that sink in. Okay. Jay is home, about to spend some time with his dad. All right, Jay, we got you. All right, Jay, we got you. Listen. So, is it just us? As you say, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. And now they're going around acting like FEMA didn't approve the money. What you had the money. You had the money to put in place the system you said y'all needed. They had it. Unlike we don't have the money here to do all the things we needed. Take this opportunity to donate to the Cash App, where we make sure we have supplies, housing, and other things for those who happen to be homeless, and we do food, and also help us get supplies, school supplies. We're way off our goal, and we had rain donate, but we still down. Hit the Cash App up. I know you all getting all into it, but take a couple of minutes, hit the fingers up, LOKIUS 2473, and say, hey, it's not a bus. It's not a bus. It's not me raising money for my, because I don't have that habit. Listen, I know I got to get these side notes because I just be trying to wrap my mind around how some people can raise $450 in a live for their Mary Jane habit. How? How does that work? How do I see people raising $450 in a live for their Mary Jane habit? And they call themselves, revolutionaries. I don't know, but we don't do that over here. For some reason, we never can reach those kind of numbers. We'd be good if we get $10 in a night. Um, no, Siren, I need you, Siren. I I need you to focus on what you need to do. I need you to focus on what you need to do, and you got a young girl, and another girl on the way, and you having a rough time yourself.
We're all just trying to figure this out as we go. When I'm back on my feet, I can't wait. Shh, I can't wait either because, I'm waiting to box. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm waiting. You and I gonna have. I'm getting you some gloves. They're gonna be a little heavier than mine. No, mine are gonna be heavier. No, okay. I'm bringing the rubber bat, and you can have gloves. But all right, that was not the right thing, Bert. Right, right. Everybody's your favorite client. Yeah, I feel that, Amy. I know. It has been. It has been. And there are going to be some rough weeks coming up. And I know that we're probably going to be on some coast of this country after a hurricane has gone through, and I'll be trying to get supplies there also. But I will be there. Well, we believe, like say, y'all never have to worry about me. I show up. Wherever I say I'm going to be, I show up and you all get to come with me. Now, there's a reason. We'll talk about the kids, or y'all can hear them in the background, but I don't show their faces. Y'all know that. Y'all know not to expect to see children's faces on my lives or on my videos. You can hear them, but you won't be able to see them. So if that's a requirement, you're not going to be able to do that because I'm not. That's not going to happen. Even the people that we do help, when we do show them, that's because we have express permission to show them. Like when we're in Rolling Fork or we're in places. Um, what? I know no one blocked my nephew. What was you? What name were you under, nephew? Hold on. What name were you under, nephew? Somebody go unblock my nephew. Yeah, go unblock him. I know. Yeah, Raven, take care of that for me, please. Runts in Motion TV. He probably said something. I know. Yeah, he probably said something, and people didn't understand he was my nephew. Y'all have to overlook the nephew. Yeah, on it. On it. All he said was unk in caps. Yeah, if they use caps, if they say unk in caps, uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Working on it. Listen, I tell them, I be trying to tell them, right? Y'all got to be careful. You show up in my, the whole. Yes, I will. Yeah. Yeah, I came here because it's almost time. All right, check now. Well, I didn't block you. It says the host blocks everybody. Well, yeah, that's not possible because I'm too busy lecturing. Yeah, that's not possible because I'm too busy on a rant. Check now and see. All right, all right, yeah. I don't care what the goddamn TikTok tells you, right? I'm on a rant. I don't really have time. That's why I have moderators. Yeah. So they took care of it. Whatever it is, I'm sure it was an accident. I'm sure it was an accident. Let me get back on. Hey, GCPR, we're out of here. All right, I'm out of here. Um, DJ, thank you for the extra time, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Same Black Panther time, same Wakanda channel. Peace. All right, Olivia, it didn't take me 3 hours. All right, now, so this is just irony right here. This is the irony of the system that they actually say that this happened, that they complained about not having the money. They wouldn't raise taxes to raise the money. When they got the money, they wanted to send it back. And then what they did spend it on, they said we didn't know we could have bought this system with it. Are we good? Listen, listen. I said it. I'm sure it was an accident. Sometimes that's what. Sometimes just let things. It was an accident. I'm sure it was an accident. Of course, you know. You just text me and it is be taken care of. Can I move on? Move on. Okay, it's just an accident. All right, and I will call whoever did it later and stress them out for putting this stress on me. All right, whoever did it, I will talk to y'all later because I'm sure it was an accident. But I get so tired of accidents being blown out of proportion. Sent them wax beans and just over. Yeah, I get. Don't worry about it. Like I said, I'm sure it was an accident. I just get so tired of last time accidents get blown out of proportion. The next time an accident gets blown out of proportion, I'm not going to jail without killing somebody. So I just gonna put that out there. I said it's an accident. Let's move on. Judge blocks birthright citizenship ruling after the Supreme Court ruling. When I saw this today, and I was like, this judge basically said, fuck the Supreme Court. I'm still forming an injunction against the idea. The Supreme Court is going to have to listen to the merits of the case and just stop me. And I love the way it was worded. I love the way he attacked it. He said, well, I love the way the judge attacked it. My bad. Because they said that, hello, letter of the law. Letter of the law. It is no interpretation of the 14th Amendment where it says all people, all persons born or naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States. Where is the gray area in that? And that's what the judge is like saying. The Supreme Court, I told people, the Supreme Court did not address the issue that was before them in CASA. They just said that district judges didn't have the right to form national injunctions against Donald Trump's executive orders. So this judge said, okay, my injunction is against the issue. I'm blocking the issue of challenging birthright citizenship. Now, Supreme Court, what you gonna do? There isn't, and no matter a judge decision, they are still doing it. What? They're doing what? What? This judge? No, see, this is why people don't understand the difference in when if the judges would have sat back and did nothing in the face of this, there were all kinds of loopholes, and I told you all about them when the Supreme Court. I told you the Supreme Court did not address the issue of birthright citizenship. All these people arguing with me because they don't read. They did not address the issue of birthright citizenship that was raised in the United in Trump. Trump versus CASA. They didn't raise. They said the judge didn't have the right to form an injunction against an executive order. So they also said that yeah, this was probably going to become it's going to be back here again because it doesn't get you around the fact that a class action suit can still be filed. Oh, that's a whole different thing. But they snatching people up has nothing to do with birthright citizenship. It's the deportation process that birthright citizenship opposes. If Donald Trump, because Donald Trump hasn't put out a method of birthright citizenship to be enforced, and that's why we're going to the court. No, ICE, the deportation process doesn't involve birthright citizenship. They're just deporting people with criminal intent by criminal intent. And I meant that the way I said it. But the birthright citizenship issue is a much larger issue because it will allow you to strip people of their citizenship based upon you saying that it doesn't apply to them. That's a whole different. Listen, the deportation. I think people get episodes.
conflated because they are linked. But even unlinking this is the issue when we're talking about like Mandande. Uh, mm, Hate it when I do that. When they're talking about Zoran and talking about since he's a naturalized citizen, well, we're just going to denaturalize him. That becomes a conversation. Now, understand the idea. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm gonna be glad I just don't turn evil and start helping people, because at the end of the day, there's an easier way to do this, but he knew he would fail. He knew he would fail. There's an easier way to do this. And that's because it is so easy that I tell people that the rights enumerated in the Constitution with the 13th and the 14th Amendment are in nowhere secure when you could just repeal them. Yeah, they don't. It's it, see with deportation when you can people don't realize that the deportation department, the judges don't fall under the same judicial branch as judicial judges. Immigration judges fall under the executive branch, so they're not this. Just because they're judges, don't mean they're under the judicial branch. They fall under the. So yes, there is a certain thing about deportation, if you can convince, see, this is the thing about this issue. If you can make it a crime to be in this country undocumented, you have much more leadway. But when you're talking about going after citizens, you have to do things like attack the 14th Amendment. And I tell people, if the 14th Amendment falls, so does the 13th. And people, like I tell people, they be like, "Oh no, that's not going to happen because this and this." And I be like, asking a question: Who had this on their bingo card in 2023? Who had it on their bingo card in 2023 that we be sitting here talking about birthright citizenship being challenged? I wonder if they're going to try to sue the judge and take it to the Supreme Court. Well, that's not how a suit. That's not how it works. You can't sue the judge. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. It is because the Supreme Court has to be the final arbitrator of the decision. The judge has put his thing in place. Now, this is the thing. The I don't think people realize how powerful judges are, and especially when you get to the appellate court level. The district court judges, the appellate court can keep them in charge, keep them in, you can hold them off. But there is no appellate court judge, there better not be. Now, not I say, like I say, even when I give you the facts are the facts. But like Amy says, we're standing on the verge of a totalitarian, authoritarian oligarchy. And all of those things together. We're standing on the verge of that. So I can give you the facts, but when the facts fall, that means our system as we know it has failed. So that's the line I walk. I walk the line by telling you what the facts say in the case, and a lot of things are getting by because nobody's challenging them. Nobody's challenging. I hate to break it to you all. A lot of people, it's like the Supreme Court just gave him the power to fire federal employees, right? And I understood when I read through I understood the law they were drawing on, but it's morally bankrupt. It is. It gives him, but it's also the Democrats are so weak. Let me tell you, the Democrats are so weak that when they get the opportunity to fix these things, they're going to fix them in the most roundabout way possible instead of using the same tools that we use to break them. That's how weak the Democrats are. The Democrats are going to take this moral high ground, and that's why I told you I don't follow white liberals anymore. They're going to take this moral high ground and tell, well, we got to do it this way because we don't want to appear this way. So we're going to take the long ass way around, and we might not even get there because we might not be in office by the time it gets around. No, fix it after you correct it. Fix it after you correct it. Fix these systems after you use the system to correct it. And don't fix the system. Continue to let it break. Let it break and repair it in a way that works for us all. But they're not going to do that.
They're going to take this moral high ground and they're going to be like, yeah, we can't legislate from the executive branch. Donald Trump is going to spend the next 3 years legislating from the executive branch because this is what you all don't realize. And I don't think, and it doesn't dawn on you all, not you all, but people in general, that Donald Trump is a lame duck president. Barring the fact that our Constitution crashes and he becomes president for a third term, which is a constitutional imperative. Barring that, Donald Trump is, and if that happens, he's not going to run for reelection anyway. But technically, Donald Trump is a lame duck president. It takes out of the box thinking, new ways. Not correct. They're playing with 1960 rules in 2020. Listen, and we continue to play by the same rules that they're throwing up. See, a revolution is not defined by playing nice. If you really about change and the change you are fighting for is righteous, then you do it and get it done with. Greetings, sunshine. How are you doing? Long time no see. We are the we are the recipient now. If we do not stop it, we are not right. If we, and it's not to say that in 100 years we might not get back to just square one. After if I live that long, it's gonna be so much of the country on fire. Y'all gonna have a choice to get back to square one, because at the end of the day, Taggart. Oh, you're in Taggart. Is that Taggart? Are you Taggart, Oregon? I've never heard of Taggart, Oregon, and I've heard of a lot of places. Right, but in this moment, we have to stand up and let's go. We have to. But the thing about it, no, there's no buts about it. Yes, we have to stand up, even if no one stands up with us. We have to be that voice to inspire others to have that voice. And you need to understand you got to have people that are violent also, like me. You got to have violence. We can't talk our way out of this. We can't talk. You can't talk your way and rationalize your way out of stuff with it. I'm just breaking down what the law says because I want you all to realize when the law falls, that's how close you are to authoritarianism. I just be wanting you all to realize this is what your law says. This is what they're doing. One of these has to give, and if the law gives, that means that all bets are off. And I need you all to stop playing by the rules. I'm still holding out hope until I wake up in about 2 3 minutes. I still hold out hope that you all will listen well enough to understand and see that the system is on the brink. Because there is no arguing with the fact this is what the law says, but we are systematically watching what happens when we allow. Listen, I was listening to the Jillian, what's her name? She used to be a liberal Democrat. She called herself. She was an exercise. She was a big exercise guru. And what's her name? Jason, you remember her name? Jillian. Anybody remember Jillian's name? She was on The Biggest Loser. I wish there were tapes so I could go back and listen to him. Not Jane Fonda, Jillian. No, no, not Jane Fonda. Her name is Jillian something. She was Jillian. That's it. Thank you, Raven. Jillian Michaels. She used to be. She used to be calls herself this Democratic liberal. She's now a Republican conservative, and that somehow she's a Republican conservative that believes in women's rights. It's funny to listen to her, but she made a statement today when we were listening to the conversation about birthright citizenship. And she said, well, maybe the Supreme Court has to go back and redefine. And I said, redefine? What words need redefining in if you were born or naturalized in the United States, you are a citizen of the United States? Could somebody explain how she thought that was redefining something, was not changing it? It's like the word if. We know what if means. You or any person, we know what that means, is born or naturalized. We know what all those words mean. In the United States, you are a citizen. Which one of these words need redefining? Because if you redefine it there,
And I like to tell people, when we Petra still when we were in political science and taking law classes, right, the first thing we would learn is about the letter of the law. When it came to the Constitution, you had to first consider the direct wording of the amendment. The direct wording. You assume that if unless the definition of words have changed, the direct wording is exactly what was intended. My bad. Still going through my journeys. Also, it's my birthday weekend. I hit 60 on Sunday. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hoping you have a great 60th. Yeah. Yeah. So the law works for everyone, not just some. And that's the thing. But in this country, we understand it's one thing for the law not to work for everybody because we live in a country where the law doesn't have to work, hasn't worked for everybody. But there have been certain fail safes in place that kept certain things in check. And now we're watching the erosion of those checks. The Supreme Court in the past, it just took the Supreme Court a long time to get to things, and that was horrible. Or we had races on the Supreme Court that came up during Plessy versus Ferguson, or the Dred Scott decision that they call that you look back on and say, "How did you all do that?" And he was like, "You were morally bankrupt." Yes, it was morally bankrupt to say that. But now we're getting to the point where we're back to the morally bankrupt of this is listen. This is a prime example why I say democracy doesn't work. And it's a prime example of how you watch a democracy that has been propped up for hundreds of years based upon the character of people and how far they want to go, and a balance that no longer exists. The separation of powers, the separate but equal clause of the different departments of the branches of the government that are supposed to keep checks and balances on each other. What happens when each one of those branches is controlled by the same party? What happens to your balance of power? This is what you're seeing. What happens when your balance of power is now controlled by the same party? And it's not in like in the past where you had Republicans that argued with Republicans and maybe they didn't have the same, so that balance was maintained. Donald Trump, whether you like it or not, you have to acknowledge Donald Trump has rebranded the Republican Party in a way that is not the Republican Party of Ronald Reagan. It is not the Republican Party of the Bushes. This is not the Republican Party of of any of those. Any president in history. This is a Republican Party that is under the thumb of Donald Trump. Tom Haskins, when Tom said he was leaving because he realized it was either leave or get pushed out. De-evolution, in a, in a way, in a way, you view it as de-evolution, but it's actually evolution. It is the evolution of bigotry and racism to the next step where they have consolidated their bigotry and racism and masked it so well that they have infiltrated the political system to the level where they can openly be bigoted and racist and draw more people to them and control the political party. And when you have this kind of control of the political, the Republicans have played the long game. Mitch McConnell held up Supreme Court just, and you can look at it and you can look back on it and see these moments in history that the Republicans have done something, and people chumped it off and say, "Oh, it's just a one shot." Or Mitch McConnell is responsible for restructuring the Supreme Court of the United States. He is responsible for restructuring the Supreme Court of the United States that now puts a 6-3 majority at times. And the only person on the Supreme Court that I say I trust is Ketanji Jackson. Second, Sonia Sotomayor. Third, Elena Kagan. But those two, when they voted
and it was an 8-1 decision about allowing Donald Trump to fire federal workers, for me, that sent a signal that you all are not as committed to maintaining the line as Ketanji Brown Jackson. Ketanji Brown Jackson is, listen, the only person who has wrote more decisions and judgment than Ketanji Brown Jackson is Clarence Carter. Clarence Thomas. Clarence, fuck him. Yeah, I can't stand Clarence. She is more qualified than everybody on that bench that talks about DEI hires. She has served more time in a judge capacity than anybody in the last 6 justices before her. I know, Clarence, yeah, Clarence Carter. Clarence Carter somewhere mad at me right now for using his last name when it comes to Clarence Thompson. I know I'm probably gonna get a dream tonight. He gonna be stroking, and he gonna be pushing me on here and say, "Oh, you gonna get me confused? I didn't get you confused. I just like your name better." Yeah, I hope that wins. Agreed. She's the only one with integrity. No, I won't say she's the only one with integrity. She's the only one with consistent integrity. I like that. See what I did? Every now and then, I'm gonna tell you, I was surprised that it was an 8-1 ruling. I was. I did not expect the 8-1 ruling. I expected it to be 6-3. I knew it was going to win, but I expected it to be 6-3. When we don't understand that when and she in the firing dissent she wrote, got mediocre white men mad and gonna have mediocre white men mad for generations to come. It's like the fiery dissent she wrote. She called out her own other two supposed liberal allies. And you know what she's doing right now? Probably drinking some wine, getting ready for bed because she's not gonna lose no sleep over it. Rich brings up a rage in me that I can't even explain. Who said that? Amy? Yeah, yeah. So it is what it is. I wanted to talk about those two tonight. Let's see what time it is. It's 8 minutes after. I know I've kept you all up late. I appreciate it. And we could pick up more with this tomorrow, depending on what happens. Tomorrow's Friday. Um, I got movies lined up that I want to get around to playing, but something always comes up. We do have movies that we can get around to playing. I'm waiting for Jurassic Park. Um, I was told that I have to give Superman a chance, even though it better not be what I think it is. But I'm gonna give it a chance because you got Mr. Terrific in it, and he's one of my favorite heroes in DC. I just want a well written movie, so we're gonna give that a chance. We got um, what else? I got the new Jurassic Park movie. Got to get that one up for you all. I already had something. Hold tight, hold tight. Bum, bum, bum. It was something else I already saved for you all that I wanted to watch. Ballerina. I got Ballerina. I've been meaning to play Ballerina. We haven't looked at it. Um, then we got a movie called The Unholy Trinity. It's a western. I like westerns when they're good. So this one has, I think it's Samuel L. Jackson in it. Hold on. We got the Trinity. We're gonna see that. Um, what else did I have? I don't want to see Karate Kid Legend, but if y'all want me to get it, I will. He also has this one is a horror, The Other. I want to watch that also. And we're waiting in the process. I turn this off because, yeah, TikTok, I turned it off because TikTok gets bent out of shape when I show that. Ballerina is outstanding. So yeah, I want to get that done. And remember, if y'all would like to help, here's the cash app for help those who have to be homeless and the school supplies for underprivileged children. and the tutoring class. Um, please, anything helps. Anything helps. Um, because if it wasn't for some of you all, I would be broker than I am. Because we're gonna do these things regardless. See, that's the difference in me and people that raise $396,000 for a bus. We're going to do this regardless. We're gonna do this regardless. Regardless, if I have to put a shiesty on, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're going to do this. I appreciate your help, but never think that those people who think they're hurting somebody because you was like, oh, I'm gonna donate to St. Jude. I don't care. The things we do, we've been doing them, and we're going to continue through with them. 74 sounds perfect, and can't wait to watch it. 74. What? Oh, what movie we talking about? What I need to get? I need to scroll up. What was the vote about? We were talking about sinners. Oh yeah, sinners. And I think Goddess has finally seen it. I think Goddess has finally seen it. So we will do. I told you we got to do a revamp of sinners because I'm going to go through and commentary it all. So I couldn't do it until Goddess saw it. We're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about all that. But yeah, we got a lot of things lined up. I appreciate it. Appreciate you all that are true believers and true followers of what we do. Yeah, I see that now. I saw that, Olivia, when I said it. I was like, oh, that's the last part of her name. Yeah. Young whippersnapper born in 1974. Yeah. Don't spoil it. I haven't watched it yet. What? You haven't watched it yet? Where, Bird? Where you been? I also wanna Oh, I also want to binge watch somebody to binge watch Sandman episode 3 with me. Oh, and the new episode of Foundation is out. I don't know. I'm a big Isaac Asimov fan. He's my favorite writer prolifically. I love everything Isaac Asimov has written, and the Apple TV finally got around to releasing the third season of um Foundation, but they only released it one episode. I can't watch one episode. I need them to drop them all at the same time. So, yes, Foundation and Sandman about to watch tomorrow. Yes, I want somebody to binge watch Sandman with me too. Nope, not tonight, Gracie. Sorry. It's too. I got too much. I got too much political stuff to read tonight. But I could multitask and put it on. But I got to do commentary. I need to watch season one still. Of what, Brain? Sandman is good. Sandman is actually Sandman for me is just as good as the original source material. Yes, and then I got to get back to um, the Dune series. I got to get back to the Dune series too. I know we started watching Dune, but Dune takes a lot of time. The Dune series takes a lot of time. Sandman to binge through, not for me. I have to multitask. I'm one of those people that I can't. I'm gonna watch Sandman. I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna be in and out. So I'm still young. Yes, young lady, you are. You have to be focused on Dune. Dune. I love Dune. And I like Frank Miller. I love the Citadel of the White Worm is one of my favorite Dune books. The Sand, all of all of them, great. But the series is spectacular. The series of how the voice developed is spectacular. Yes, you finished watching Mortician? That's how I get through shows. How? When I work from home, I put something on. Right. It's the details. I promise you. It's not a binge watch. For other people, it might not be a binge. I'm kind of insulted that you say that. How do you think I watch the series? I binge watch them. I don't miss details. I know everything that's behind me right now. Details, my brain works like that. I keep telling you all, I'm not like you all. My brain details. If I see it, I remember it. The details, I don't just listen. I can read to a book and watch a series at the same time. And my bestie, I remember bestie was talking to me one night, and I was literally reading an article on my phone and watching a show with her. And she was like, "You're not paying attention to the show. You don't know what I." And I told her what happened in the last 3 minutes of the show. And since then, she has never bothered me about my ability to split my attention between multiple objects and then have be able to consolidate them. I actually have eidetic memory. Raven is another one. Raven can tell you. They have physically been with me when I have been multitasking and talking to them at the same time. We'll be driving for hours, we'll be listening to music, we'll be talking, and I could be on the phone all at the same time and not miss a beat. Heads of state on Prime, heads of state. Right, just keep talking. I because when we get to the when it gets to the part where I need to interject, I'm interjecting. Yep, yep. That's just the way my mind works. I don't. I when and I'm glad they're in here because when they drive, Raven drives. Nick tries to drive, but we don't let Nick drive over long distances. Nick's good for city driving, but Nick does not get to drive over long distances. Nick gets in the back seat with me. Raven and Nick's wife up front, and then we had Ro in the very back because Ro gonna go to sleep too. Ro, my nephew, he knocked out. He going to sleep. Who and the last two people that are gonna be up are going to be Raven is not gonna fall asleep while they're driving, and I just be up. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at the head of state with Chris Rock. No, no, I'm not watching anything with Chris Rock in it. I'm sorry, but I think it's a new one. Yeah, Amy's talking about the new one. Tapping out. We're about to tap out. I like this man. I'm like this man has superpower. I'm telling you, once you get to know me, once you get to know me, you be like, everything he says about himself is true. I don't have to embellish. I am tall, I am big, and I like to fight. I don't have to embellish. You all, Chief of Security, get out of here. Y'all have a nice one. Signing off YouTube. Peace.